In today's video, we're gonna see if ChatGPT is gonna take my job as a landscape designer. Within the last 2 weeks, OpenAI has dropped their new image generator and it's changing the game as we know it. I'm in my 4th year now as a landscape designer and I've gotten pretty good at drawing a cohesive outdoor space that people enjoy. Today, I wanna see how Chat can stack up. So as a landscape designer, there's one primary software I like to use. It's called UVision. So it allows me to put in a scaled drawing after my site visit with elevations to tell me, once I have a landscape put in there, the exact amount of area a patio is, a bed is, how many plants I've put in, so I can go ahead and create a bid and sell the project off of that. A landscape design usually takes me 1 to 3 days to put together and turn around from the first time I met the client to when I'm selling the project in under a week. I've got 3 examples I want to show you, and now let's see what Chat can do compared to what I've done in the past. So we're looking at the before picture on the site right now, and you can see on like the top left side they have a walkout basement, mid left they have a deck, and they're going to want access from the driveway on down. They want a putting green, they want big enough space to play cornhole, which regulation distance is going to be 27 feet. You can see that. There's room for that in this dirt patch where there previously used to be a pool. And then they also want a fire pit, a couple of pergolas, and an outdoor bar. So let's see what we drew. So the first thing that went into the design process was having about 27 feet of cornhole area. So you can see that right there in the middle of the patio. That's where they're gonna set up their cornhole boards and have their tournament. And that's gonna be in between the pergola. You can see right front and center, they hung a TV from that and they got a freestanding bar, a few drinks on top of that, pretty sweet. It all just kind of flows together on that patio. You go from walkway down, pergola, bar, fire pit, seat wall with cornhole. And then you've got the the walkout basement, of course, and then a chipping area putting green with a little walkway to go through planters. Spacing all works out real nice. You got 4-foot wide walkway, up and down 4-foot wide stairs, universal all across the board so people can actually walk around. Either a pulled out chair, pulled in chair on the fire pit, or just two-way flow of traffic up and down these walkways. Mowing lines are pretty simple. Nice and easy around the landscape. It all flows together very well. In landscape design, usually we like to see odd numbers in plantings, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So you can see there's odd numbers universally throughout this landscape design. Oh dude, I have 4 hydrangeas down low. It was my first big design. Also, you want to make sure that your beds are anywhere from 3 to 5 feet wide at a very minimum. So we've got that in here. The cool part in UVision is that you can actually put a paver in that's scaled to the house. So when the client's looking at this, we use a Unilock art line. That's actually how this is going to play out in real life. So client appreciated that. Coda wall, high format steps, all of that is going to play a huge role from a design to the actual install and allowing the customer to capture what it's actually going to look like. This is going to be really close. All right, let's take that before picture, throw it in Chat and see what it generates. Boop, 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 boop. Oh boy. All right. There's just a few things right off the bat. Like from far away, this picture looks pretty good. I'm kind of impressed, but when you really start to look at it with a design brain, it's like, what is going on here? Like 2 fire pits, 1 underneath a pergola, a wood pergola. That's not going to go over very good. And who needs 2 round fire pits right next to each other? Like it's 1 and done for most cases. This, you never put 2 fire pits that close. The walkway, the curvature one is a little odd, but 2, like it gets from like what appears to be 3 feet wide to 4 or 5 and then scaling back down to 2. That's never going to fly in real life. So that, I'm going to mark that down. Some of the right angles where the walkway meets the main patio, usually you want to curve that. It's kind of odd, kind of like almost an acute angle in some spots. So that's a little weird. And then the bed lines on top go from like straight to angled to straight. Usually beds are going to be curve and flow all throughout the landscape. I do like the putting green area. That's pretty cool. It's, you got the fringe, like that's going to be pretty close to real life. That's pretty sweet. I'd like to see 3 holes, not 2. And then like the curvature on the patios too. Like we have this awkward like attempt at an oval. Usually that should be a circle. This little lawn area down low, you never really want to have a strip of lawn like that tight because you're going to blow grass all over in the beds. It's going to be a maintenance nightmare. But like from far away, it looks pretty good, but this is not going to translate to real life. So I do see this being helpful to give me an idea on placement of where things can go conceptually. Like, okay, the putting green's kind of cool in the middle there, and the walkway out to a fire pit's nice. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, the chat is just not there yet. Let's jump into example number 2. Customer wants a lakefront dock, cantilever dock over the water so they can pull their pontoon up to it. They want a fire pit, a seawall, and a landscape surround. So looking at the before picture here, you can see there's a pre-existing dock on the left. There's a stump where the tree was cut out growing through it. And then you've got the existing seawall, which is hard to see. It's built out of 4x4s going the front between the beach and the shore. The water level is actually down right now. And there's about a 2-foot difference between the sand and the grass that you see in the picture. And there's also another, the water is actually another 18 inches down from where it normally is at the moment. Yeah, that's the before picture there. Tree on the left, yard, and beach. So let's jump into what I drew up for this customer. So for my design, I actually took that drone shot, flipped it 180, and took the opacity down so the customer can actually see how it's going to play out in real life. Sometimes that works really good for 2D pictures. We've got the dock cantilevering over the water. You can see it's measured left and right, 1'1" on the left, 2'6" on the right. That shows the cantilever ratio that you're allowed to have according to Michigan code here. We've got the distances calculated for the cantilever, the seawall, and the actual cantilever itself on the framing. They have a 48-foot wide dock, so you can take 2 pontoons perpendicular to the dock on the right side and 1 parallel on the left side, or vice versa. A couple steps up. Since the yard does slope down, we got to show 3 steps up to the patio, and then another 1, 2, 3 steps up to the yard behind the patio. This is based off a circle patio. That was what I started with, and I had a few extra curves to allow for flow of traffic down to the dock in a couple different spots. We've got some rocks built in on the right side behind the dock, just some stairs up to the yard. It doesn't have, there's 3 stairs there, but there's 6 total on the left. The grading of the yard kind of changes, and so this makes sure that you can easily go up and down without having to do too many grade alterations in the remainder of the yard. We've also got a landscape surround with native plantings. For this design, there's actually an extensive permitting process you have to abide by for the seawall, for the dock, and for the plantings behind the wall. So all those criteria are met in this landscape design. Scale is going to be extremely important in landscape design. When it comes to estimating and bidding a project, you want to have a scale on the project. 1, so the customer can go out and see how it's actually going to fit in their space and how they can flow through their new outdoor space. But 2, for when it comes to bidding the project, you can actually calculate square footage and area so that you can give the customer a price to put it in. I'm going to flip to the landscape design they put together with the criteria I was given. Now you can see they've got the seawall, they've got the dock, they got the fire pit. Like those are in the plannings. Those are kind of the main things on this landscape design. But what's missing is they wanted a cantilever dock. I think chat might have missed that one. The fire pit is kind of an awkward space. Like the fire ring itself is not centered on the patio. And then for flow of traffic, there's no way from this picture, again, it's not scaled. Chat's not scaling any of this. But to walk from the top of the photo to the dock, you're going to have to walk through a landscape bed because you can't walk around the chairs without walking through a landscape bed. It's not a big enough patio. Chat's not taking into account this flow of traffic that we need to think about. People are going to want to walk on a hard space. Some of the other things that stick out, like there's plantings that are half in the grass, half in the mulch bed. That's not going to fly. Your lawn guy's going to kill that with his weed whacker. And then there's plantings like actually in the grass. Trees are okay, but the 3 plantings over on the right side, that's not going to fly in real life either. Those are going to get destroyed. You got to keep them inside the bed, keep them protected. Also, like a little weird thing going on, the label's evergreen tree on the bottom right corner. That's a beach behind a seawall. So the label's weird, but also the concept is weird. Like they got a beach, they got a wall, and they got a beach behind the wall. That's odd. There's just some random things that are not working too good on here. And then, biggest of them all, like I already said, it's not scaled. So like, this is just a random idea. We're like an actual landscape designer. Although it is an idea, it's already thought through and to scale, and actually they've already thought through what it's going to look like in your space. Overall opinion on this one was bad, really bad. Like the last example, at least I could use it as an idea on where to put things. This one is so few criteria. It has to go fire pit, seawall, dock. That's a given. So this didn't help me out on where to even begin putting things. And the execution on the sizing and the location of multiple things on this is relatively poor. We're going to take you guys now to our third and last example. So before here, you can see this is a picture of the house in progress. The roof's not even on yet, but it's mostly framed out. Walls are up. One thing we're looking at here and dealing with is about an 8 to 9 foot elevation change from where the upper patio is going to be to the basement slider door. You can see that basement slider door is framed out at the bottom of the picture, right below that little kitchenette cutout. We've got criteria we're dealing with. The customer is going to get a gunite pool, a hot tub. They want a walkway down low to the basement slider, flow of traffic up and down, outdoor kitchen, flow of traffic to the driveway. We're just going to deal with the backyard on this landscape design here. And then they want a volleyball net on the pool, tanning areas, fire pit, and they want to tie this in like the upper deck on where the upper patio is. They have like a covered 20 by 20 deck. They want to tie that in over to the pole barn in a sense, to where you can walk back and forth and it's all one cohesive space. So you can see on my design here, we've got an outdoor kitchen, and it's a kitchenette. It's like tucked in kind of on the right third of the photo. There's a 20 by 20 overhang outdoor concrete pour, and it's right to the right of that. So we've got outdoor kitchenette, which makes for easy flow of traffic in and out. Their kitchen's actually on the other side of that wall right there. People love outdoor kitchens right by their indoor kitchens. We got a fire pit, gas fire pit, a couple different tanning areas. You can see there's a stairway going down to the walkout basement at the bottom. But then up top, we've got this neat gunite pool, hot tub where an auto cover is going to slide over and cover them both at the same time. We've got a little 6 foot swing around the pool, a little paver inlay, as you can see, and like the pavers kind of all play with each other. You got the walkway around the pool matches the walkways going to the driveway and the walkway going to the basement slider. And then, as a client requested, we're tying in the barn with the house. This is a 3D design, but I took the house plans, and this is the placement of everything to a T in real life. So I can tell you right now the square footage of the patio, how much material you're going to have to order. I can tell you right now how much it's going to cost. I could go to the client's house and stake it out exactly, because we have a scaled rendering here. Let's see what chat drew me up. All right. Well, the house is way off. I don't even know where to start on this one. Okay, we'll take the house out of the picture. The pool is cool. What's interesting about the pool to me is that the concrete surround on the right side is smaller than the concrete surround on the left side. There's no symmetry there. The left side's bigger. You've got the hot tub's cool as well. The interesting thing about the hot tub is like the concrete pour on the left side comes down so far, and then on the right side, like it's cut short. So I'm trying to figure out how, like, you want to be able to get in the hot tub on like all 4 sides. In reality, that concrete surround should really be going all the way around. That concrete surround should be like 6 to 8 feet at least. It looks like it's 1.5 feet or 2 on the picture. And then we got grass butting right up to concrete. Like, whoever's mowing the lawn is going to have a really hard time not getting grass in the pool. It's going to be a maintenance nightmare right there. Again, another maintenance nightmare. I know the first design was a maintenance nightmare too. There's that walkway coming around from the hot tub, working your way right. It's going for the stepper look, but then it just stops, and it's like you got to walk through the pea gravel. Don't ever put pea gravel down in your landscaping. It gets everywhere. The symmetry on the fire patio is kind of weird. Like the pea gravel spilling onto the fire patio. It's not even a circle. The placement of the chairs, the look of the pavers, no banding, just cut in open space. It is a cool fire pit. I like the fire pit. But the execution of that area is really bad. Really bad. And then as this walkway comes around, you kind of want to marry the 3 different walkways they have going on. It looks like they have a walkway going up to a window on the left side. So that's kind of weird, but you got a walkway going to like a porch in the middle, and then this walkway, I assume, goes around to the front. But where those 3 walkways meet that intersection, you got to do some type of design element. Whether you just have them all connected or you do like a paver inlay, there's got to be some type of joint right there, and it's not on this design. And then plantings too, rules of 1, 3, 5, 7. It looks like it's just a bunch of one-off plantings which usually you don't ever really see that in landscaping, just a bunch of one-off plantings, at least at this scale. So it looks like they're just plopped in. There's not a whole lot of seasonal interest. They're all just like green looking, green bushes here and there. So client's probably going to say, no, I'm not putting this in. But, you know, initial look, it's like, all right. But then when you look at it close, like I said, it's not scaled. And there's about 10, 12 things I could pick up when, if you actually put this in the ground, you're not going to get paid. So in conclusion, I think Chat, like the image generating software, it can make some really good pictures, really good graphics. There's, you know, it's definitely got that cool element to it. But when you're taking something that requires a lot of like brain power and thinking through and scaling and to become an estimating platform in the future, it's just not there. This is just a rough concept image generating software. It's not going to take my job. Let me know what your take is on Chat's attempt at landscape designing down in the comments. I'm looking forward to making more videos, and stay tuned.